the horrors, and I'm really trying to say that last R because I feel like it sounds like I'm saying the whores and not the horrors. And I would hate to have horrors be lumped into the horrors because it's not the whore's fault. It's also not the doll's fault, by the way. Hey y'all, welcome to Cloveroom. I know it has been a while, so today's just going to be a chatty, get ready with me, a little catch-up session. Not the condiment, but, just actually catching up with the person. I don't plan on discussing the makeup I'm going to be putting on very much, so I will put everything down in the description box that I apply today. Some of those will be affiliate links. They will be marked. As always, well, I guess this is the first time I'm putting affiliate links in my description box, so as the precedent. No need to purchase through those affiliate links, and don't feel pressured to if you are on a low buy, no buy. Or if you just don't want to buy anything right now, I totally get it. But, on the off chance that something strikes your fancy, they are there and they support me. And I feel like I'm supposed to say my channel, but really just, my life. So let's just go ahead and get started, shall we? Y'all, it has been... I think it's been about a month since I posted, and what a month it has been. And actually some of this happened before the last video I posted, but I just didn't want to get into it in that video. So I think where we last left off is I was moving, and I've filmed, I think, a couple of videos already here. So I moved, all of that. I think I implied this, but it was a really stressful move. It was because of a lot of things. The house I was living in had a rodent problem. And I also had roommate problems, let's say. And I won't get into it more than that. But it was a really, really bad situation. And it was draining and stressful. And none of it, not a lick of it, was fun. You may also know background, or if you're new here, maybe you don't know this about me. I was training for a marathon. I was going to do a marathon in Washington State this month. I think in a week or two from when I'm filming this is when the marathon is. So I was in the middle of moving. I did most of it myself because I don't like help. I'm a control freak. I like to do everything the way I want to do it. The only thing I got help with was my bed. And that was because I tried to move it by myself and that didn't work very well. So I'd done most of the moving on my own. I had also, the week I'm about to tell you about, had just ran the half in my marathon training program. So the half marathon is 13.1 miles. Full is 26.2. I had just done that. And I had a soccer game on Wednesday because, as you may also know, I play soccer. I'm going to put some clips in my hair. So I get to my soccer game in the week that I am moving, and the week I just ran 13.1 miles, and also more than just the half marathon I was running most days of the week for my marathon training plan. And I wasn't really letting up, and I entered my soccer game because I got there late. I entered it without warming up. Huge mistake. It was freezing that night especially. Not that you should ever not warm up, but that night especially was just a bad idea. I got the ball past me and I tried to take a shot, and I turned really awkwardly. And I felt my knee do something weird. And as soon as it happened, I was like, that's bad. I haven't really had a lot of knee issues in my life, but I was like, ugh, that felt so weird. And I landed on it and I was like, oh no. And I immediately fell to the ground. I was able to walk off the field. It was kind of a struggle, and it immediately shot with pain. And I was like, that's bad. That's bad. Sort of like Justin Timberlake when he got pulled over for the DUI and he was like, oh God, the world tour. The cop's like, what world tour? I was like, oh God, the marathon. But there's no cop by me. Thank goodness. I did not want to admit to myself that I was injured, and so I tried to work on it. I didn't try running it again because it was in way too much pain, and I could just tell that wasn't going to happen. And then eventually I had to call out of work, which I hate doing because I hate losing money. I kind of had to come to terms with the fact that it wasn't a normal injury. It was something that I just needed to rest, and it was going to get better if I rested it, but rest had to be involved, which I absolutely hate. I hate resting. Once I finally rested it, it immediately got a lot better. It is still not 100%. I'm doing what I can to deal with it, but that really wrecked me. Like, I was really not in great shape because of that. Not even the physical part of it, but because I was just so excited to do this marathon and to accomplish that goal that I've had for a while. And the training was going so well, and I was excited to go back to Washington. And I don't know. So, like, a couple of weeks went by, and it was getting better, but I was like, I doubt this is going to be anything that I'm going to be able to, like, actually run on, and I don't really want to have to rush it. So I made the really tough decision to defer the marathon. So thankfully, because I don't think you can like cancel, but you can just say you'll do the race next year. So in 2026, I plan on doing that, if all goes well. That was just tough because, I mean, it was tough for a lot of reasons. Like, nothing about this year has gone as planned. Like, I didn't think I was going to be moving so soon. I thought my big thing this year was going to be running the marathon, and that's not going to happen now, which is just, it is what it is. A bummer, honestly. And I was trying to give myself grace because I didn't know we were going to have a huge rodent problem. I didn't know the extent of how incompatible my roommate and I were. These things happen, and it didn't seem useful to be upset with myself over things that I couldn't control and decisions that I didn't want to make. And what I really took it as a sign was that I'm really good at like pushing through and just doing things, like moving completely on my own and doing these like harder physical things, but I'm not very good at resting. Like I said, I really hate resting. I really like moving. I really like challenging myself. And the lesson from all of this was like, you have to rest. Like, if you want your knee to get better, if you want to be able to run again and play soccer again, you have to like slow down and rest. So that is that. The marathon is not happening this year. I was able to put my flight that I had already bought toward another trip that I'm going to take this summer that I'm really excited about. And like I said, I hope to do the marathon in Washington next year. But that's like the big update that I haven't told you all yet because I was too sad to talk about it and I didn't want to. But, we've somewhat processed it and we're working through it. So, yeah. And now a happy announcement that you may have gotten a sneak peek of is behind me. Also, for those who don't know, I went through a breakup a year or two ago. And I shared a dog with that partner. And we decided together that the dog would be better at my ex's house and living with my ex, and my ex taking care of him, which, no drama in that at all. That was like a mutual decision. My ex was, but just because of the time we got Remy, which was that dog's name, who I still get to see, by the way, and I still love. I'm actually going to see him tonight, Remy and my ex. The hardest part of that breakup was having to not live with Remy anymore. Very much a mutual thing, and happened with a lot of maturity and love. Still excruciatingly hard not to get to live with Remy anymore. So I moved into my last house and we weren't allowed to have any more dogs on the lease. That didn't stop some people, but I actually follow rules. I was waiting to get a dog, and then when I moved into this place, which is my own place, praise. I've been loving this place. It's in a much better area for me. It's just a much better fit for me. It's better all around. So when I moved into this place, it was pet friendly, and I, said to myself, I want to get a dog soon, but let's wait because Washington's going to be a big financial burden. And then maybe after the trip this summer, maybe like August or September, I'll get a dog. But then all this stuff happened with my knee and not being able to go on the trip. So I was like, a good thing could come out of all of this, and maybe I'll get a dog now. So I looked on a local shelter's website, and I looked a few times before I applied. They had just like a general dog application that you filled out. I looked a few times, and this dog kept catching my eye, named Dodger. That's you, buddy. and I was emailing back and forth with the coordinator, and I said, the dog, and she asked, she's like, you've been approved to adopt. Was there a dog you were interested in? And I said, I really connected a lot with Dodger's like pictures and just the little bio they wrote about him. His temperament, not exactly the same at all. He's very much a different dog, but reminded me a lot of Remy. And I wanted a pit mix, so she was like, "Oh wow, that's awesome! I'll get you connected with his foster." Because Dodger did not do well in the shelter. He doesn't like love being around other dogs, so they had put him in a foster home, and he'd been there for like nearly a year because there wasn't a lot of interest expressed in him, apparently. I think I was the first person who actually ever met with him or like set anything up. So the shelter was excited, the foster was excited because, I think it's because he's a pit, and that makes things harder. And there's a lot of mistaken stereotypes out there about pits, even though I wanted one because I knew how cuddly they were and how loving they were, and just his temperament seemed like a good fit for me, and he needed to be in an adult-only household. That will very much always be my vibe, unless something crazy happens. So I met him, ended up adopting him, and now he is obviously laying on my bed. He's a snoozer, and he's really loud when he sleeps, so you've probably been hearing him a little this entire video. But, I'm tearing. He's the best. Not that, this whole knee thing has been hard for other reasons I'm going to get into in this video, but it'll all have been worth it because I got Dodger out of it. And I do believe in just timing and the universe telling you things and the universe kind of deciding for you when things are the right time. I don't think it was the right time for that marathon, but I think the universe knew that I needed to slow down and I needed Dodger in my life. I mean, it's just been the best to have a dog again, to have somebody to cuddle with at night, honestly, to have someone to take care of. And he's so sweet. He's the biggest baby. He's the strongest baby you'll ever meet. He is a 61 pounder, but he's very strong, thinks he's a lap dog, just always wants to have a paw on you or always wants to be near you, loves food, loves a treat. And he's been here I think 3 weeks at this point, and I mean, he's so well behaved. We're still getting used to each other, still figuring each other out for sure. And I know that because we adopted Remy, and it comes in waves of their personality and them feeling comfortable and how they want to express themselves. But it's been the best, and it feels like I've had him my entire life because I just immediately bonded and loved him. And I think he seems really happy here, which is great. And it's been a mental health stabilizer. It's been a reason to get up and do things. The best thing that could have happened. So even though especially if I had come on here a few weeks ago before I got Dodger, I was really in a bad place about my injury and all of that. But I am definitely doing a lot better because it all led to me getting Dodger, which was the best thing that could have happened. I love him very much, and I'm glad we found each other. I'm usually much better at this than I am being right now, I swear. You're I don't know what a YouTube video is. Lucky you. Oh, hi, buddy. Okay, do you want to say hi to everyone? Do you want to say hi? Do you want to say hi? Okay. I'm trying to make a point about motherships, but I guess you don't even know what Pat McGrath is. Because you're just a baby at the end of the day. There is another part of the injury that I've been really struggling with, and I am going to talk a little bit about body dysmorphia and just body stuff. If you want to skip ahead to timestamp I'll put on screen, you absolutely should. And I am often not in the mood to hear people talk about this, so I will understand if you don't want to hear me talk about this. Earlier, I gave the Justin Timberlake comparison on when I got injured and how I thought about the marathon, and that was a bit of a fib. And this pains me to admit because I feel like it's so sad. But my first real thought when I got injured was, oh no, I'm going to gain weight. Which is so terrible and not something I love about myself. My body image hasn't been very good lately. And I think there's a lot of reasons for that. It's a scary time to be trans, as we all know. And I just have been feeling very dysphoric lately, very like confused on what path I should take with my physical appearance, given where it feels like all of this is going, which I'm not going to explicitly say, but I feel like if you're in the US, it's kind of, I don't know, it's clear kind of the goal of all of this scary stuff. Like, I love exercising because it does a lot for my mental health and it makes me feel a lot better, but I would also be lying if I didn't say I love exercising because it makes me feel more in control of my body. And I had mentioned earlier, I'm a bit of a control freak, and I'm definitely a control freak over how I look. And losing that ability to exercise and run when I have a hard day and control the way I'm looking was the most devastating part of it. More devastating than not being able to run the marathon, honestly. Which, again, I wish that wasn't the case, but just being honest, that is 100% part of it. I also feel like that had to do with, I feel like a lot of my agency with how I present is being taken away. Not explicitly and directly yet, but in other ways for sure. I mean, I'm scared to travel right now. I'm scared to go certain places right now. There's just goals I've had in, and I don't really look at it as like a transition because I don't think it's like this before or after thing. But there are goals I had of one day getting facial feminization surgery, of one day just, doing all these benchmarks. And I don't want to do everything, in case you need to know that. But there are certain things that I've always been interested in because I thought they would help me be myself more. And it's starting to feel like maybe I should not even have those as goals for the near future because everything is so scary right now and uncertain. And yeah. And losing the control I did have over my body and not being able to play soccer and run has just not done a lot for my self-confidence. It's actually in the toilet right now. I feel not great about myself. That's also why I dyed my hair. This isn't a very good representation because it's pretty wet right now. I just showered and washed it. But I'll maybe put a picture up to show you a better... It's like a very coppery, warm auburn look. That was a whole journey. We'll get back. Okay, we're now out of the scary body talk stuff. For something a little bit lighter than all of what I just said. What should I do now? Maybe I'll try to use... I'm going to try to use the last... I know I wasn't talking about anything, but I barely have anything left of this Glossier Future Dew. I don't even know if I have enough left to use. I'm just going to... I think this is the last use. Because it won't pump anymore. And actually, I don't even think there's anything in there. Yeah, I think this is actually just like straight up empty. All right, well, won't use that. I'll use this replacement. So I needed a change because I wasn't feeling very good about my image, my self-image, and how I was looking. And I was like, you know what? I've been a blondie for a bit. I had really grown out. I thought about going to the salon, and that didn't end up working out. And with hair stuff, I'm pretty like, I decide something and then I want it done. So off I went to Sally's. And I initially dyed it this super purple based magenta red, like very deep, very vibrant. And I hated it. I was already not in a good place with my body image, but then I did that. Girl, it was not good. I was not in a good place. That version of it only lasted one day. Because people were like... Because I went to work with it, and I was like, I hate this so much, I hate this so much. And all my friends at work were like, oh my god, no, it looks fine, it looks fine. You just have to let it grow on you, it'll wash out, blah, blah, blah. And I tried to do that, and then I said, no. So I did a bleach bath. All the hairstylists and hair girls watching this are like, oh my god, what are you doing? But I had to be true to myself. I don't know what to tell you. I wasn't ready to admit defeat and go to a salon yet. And the bleach bath did the trick, actually. It made it what I actually wanted it to be. Because I wanted it to be like the warm, almost like rose gold auburn kind of moment. And that's what it is now for the most part. It definitely doesn't look professionally done. There's some pieces I miss that are a little bit more still like purple red. But I think it looks pretty good. And I'm like happy with it. And I have worn it out a few times like with more makeup-y looks. And like I really do like the way it looks. And I like the change. I will say I'm a little bit bummed because I wish I had left the blonde or just had redone the blonde, honestly. Because I think in my heart of hearts, I have now decided after all this, I'm a warm blonde. Is like, I mean, not naturally. Naturally, I'm like a mousy brown. But I think once I have fun with this little auburn moment, I'm going to go back to warm blonde and just stay there. Because that's how I, like, that's how I feel the most confident. And my hair goals are basically Carrie Bradshaw on the OG Sex and the City seasons. And it is kind of a bummer because I'm having a Sex and the City housewarming party where everyone has to come dressed up as a Sex and the City character. And the only rule is that I'm the only Carrie, because period. And I wish I still had my blonde hair because I have like a somewhat similar hair texture to her and it would have been nice. But I'm thinking about maybe getting a wig or just being like, I'm her when she's brunette, even though I'm wearing a look that is her when she has her normal hair. But it's fine. It's fine. It's all fine. But I was happy that at least it came together, because if it hadn't, I was like not in a good place. I mean, I still don't know if I'm in a great place. If you can't tell, it was dicey for a second. Because for a second I was like, dang, I did this to like help my self-confidence. And it's like when it was that purpley red, it was absolutely in the toilet. It was not good, y'all. But I do like the change. Again, I wish I had just like kind of kept it the warm blonde, but I'm gonna have fun with the auburn moment while it lasts. And I will say, I feel like the lesson I should have learned is go to a salon for color. But actually, I kind of enjoyed the chaos, and I kind of enjoyed being a mixologist and doing the TikTok research for it all. So now I'm like, ooh, I just unlocked something in myself now that I sort of somewhat, I mean, I still am not like a colorist at all, right? Having to like mix stuff and like go to Sally's to pick out the dye and all of that really, unfortunately, unlocked something in me that I don't know if is going to be good for me to have unlocked, but oh well. Now back to somewhat serious stuff, unfortunately. I have, ever since everything has been going on in the US, I haven't really been keeping up like super like detailed. I've been, knowing enough, but I have been paying a little bit more attention, and I don't know if that's necessarily a good thing. It doesn't feel like it, because the horrors are starting to get to me, all is basically what I'm trying to say. I'm just very, I don't know, I have a lot of anxiety about everything going on, and I feel like a lot of times with anxiety, it's like, but why are you anxious? It's fine, it's all good, but like, it's obviously based on very real things that are happening is why I'm anxious, and I don't know, it's just so scary right now. That's kind of it. Like, I don't know what else to say. It's just a terrifying time to be alive and identify in a lot of certain ways, including identify as a trans girl. Here we are. That's basically all I have to say. Like, and I think it's been getting to me more, and I've been more like second guessing what I should be doing and what's my life gonna look like, and that's not been great for my mental health, obviously, because why would that be great for anybody's mental health to have to think about that all the time? And I think that's also led to, I've like tried to I've even filmed a couple of videos. I filmed a Sephora one that I really did want to get up, although I'll be honest, a little preview of my next no-buy update. They got me, gals. Sephora got me this year. Damn it. Oh no. I'm a bad conscious beauty influencer. Which, I'll update y'all more about that in my actual no-buy update. I want to have that like segmented. I don't want to just throw that into like a more personal video that I'm not sure everyone will be watching. Not that everyone will watch a no-buy check-in, but... So, but yeah, that's a preview of coming attractions. I did pick up a few things that I shouldn't have during the Sephora sale. It was with a gift card, but again, I'm previewing too much. I'll tell y'all later. I think one of the things that I'm struggling with right now is when I had previously like a really bad relationship with over purchasing makeup. One of the things that really influenced that, and it was kind of coming from within, and it was like a personal thing I was going through, was not. It was the future was so cloudy and uncertain and didn't feel promised. So it didn't feel important to be smart about what I was buying or stick to goals or any of that stuff because everything felt so like, and I've said this kind of sentiment before when I did my video after everything happened in November. You know, I said it feels hard to be a conscious beauty person right now because it's like, if buying a lipstick is going to make you feel better, maybe just go ahead and buy the lipstick. I don't know. And that's kind of how I have been feeling of, you know, why am I trying, or like, it doesn't feel like as important to stick to goals that I set because everything feels so fragile and really uncertain right now that, I mean, financial security seems like a myth at this point with everything going on and everything's so unstable. And if something is going to bring me some joy, I think it's, you know, I'm not going to say no to it. But I also know that that's like not a healthy thought process. And I have a lot, you know, to live for and a lot to plan for. And I shouldn't throw away goals based on things that haven't happened yet. It's been just kind of a tug of war with dealing with the horrors and then trying to take seriously my own personal goals that I have because it all just feels so silly. Like, it feels silly to care about a no buy right now when a lot of scary stuff is happening. But I know it's important and I know it's something I care about, but I'll expand on that more in my next no buy update, which should be coming soon. But yeah, I filmed a Sephora sale video I wanted to get up, didn't get that up, sorry. Filmed a video that was kind of like a personal essay video that I just ended up not really wanting to post. If you have seen The Real Housewives of New York, there is this kind of very memed moment of Dorinda Medley and Bethany Frankel talking. And Bethany Frankel is going through this really hard time, and Dorinda's talking to her about it. And Dorinda's just kind of like, I need you to admit that it's bad. It's bad right now.
I just need you to say that to me. It was bad.
No, you know, that was bad. It is bad. It's bad.
Like, me versus me in my head. I'm like, Kimberly, it's not a good time right now. And I'm like, oh, I mean, it's, you know, I'm making it. And I'm like, to myself, I'm like, no, babe, it's bad. It's bad. And I'm like, yeah, it's bad. It's bad. You're right. On that regard, too, I have said this constantly, and I'm sorry to keep saying this. I want to do YouTube more seriously, and I want to do YouTube more consistently. But then I just kind of get caught, because I have a lot of other stuff going on in my life, and I'm like, where should I commit my time? Should I do it to things that are maybe more kind of like standard life goals and like a little bit more immediate payoff, or should I build up something like YouTube that means a lot to me personally but isn't as like a traditional of a road? And you know, I've been also I mean, obviously I just got a dog. That's been a whole thing I'm adjusting to. Moving was a lot, and you know, there's like reasons I haven't been posting other than the horrors, and I'm really trying to say that last R because I feel like it sounds like I'm saying the whores and not the horrors, and I would hate to have whores be lumped into the horrors because it's not the whore's fault. It's also not the doll's fault, by the way. Anyone watch White Lotus? I feel like I'm really mimicking 2025 conversation. Like, you talk about the horrors and then you're like, you watching White Lotus right now? It's over, obviously. I won't give away any spoilers if you haven't seen it, but I did not like the finale. I'll say that. I did not appreciate that finale, or honestly kind of like, I was like, what are we going for here? Like, what are we doing? Do we know what we're doing? And it didn't feel like we knew what we were doing, in my opinion. The way people discuss White Lotus on TikTok, though, is so funny to me. Like, I watch it because I think it's, like, a fun, zeitgeisty show. I think it's, you know, I like the second season still is my favorite by far. I would put the third above the first season, but I did not think it reached the amazing heights of the second season. But I just watch it because it's zeitgeisty and fun and clearly made by a gay man. And it's funny because there's all these, like conspiracy theories and like, did you see this hidden meaning? And did you see this like hidden thing that's how? And I'm like, no, we're just on vacation and like, it's a parody of rich people. People on TikTok, when something gets big, they like have to like assign like 50 conspiracy theories to it and like act like certain things are happening on the show that clearly aren't. And like the theories going into the finale, I've seen a couple of funny TikToks of like people being like, here's how y'all, I guess, wanted the finale of White Lotus to be. And it was all these like ridiculously like hammy and over the top plot lines. And I don't know. It was, I don't know. Fans. Social media sure isn't great for a lot of things. I'll say that. You know what's in right now in the Cloveroom household? A matte white inner corner highlight. It's like kind of that girl. Like blended down kind of to also brighten the under eye. Like it's giving. Like I used to only do sparkly inner corner highlights, and you know, there's a time and place, but like matte white inner corner highlights are kind of it. And I was on FaceTime with my good Judy Tom of Hope Mess Tom fame, as many of y'all know them. And I was doing my makeup and I was like, oh my gosh, you know what, Tom? Like, this is crazy, but I've been loving a bright white inner corner. And they're like, do you think you've invented the bright white inner corner highlight? And I'm like, yeah, I should go on TikTok and be like, and act like I did. And like, you know how people just are like acting like they made up a makeup thing that's been happening for a while and then they give it a new name. I'm like, I can call it the Snow White Bright Lighthouse Inner Corner Highlight, and it can be a whole new trend, just like Strawberry Girl and Clean Girl and all that. And they were like, please don't do that. And I said, don't worry, I won't, because I clearly don't like making content. But I do, and I like doing this, and I wish I would get myself up to do it more. That was an interesting way of putting that. All right. Is there anything else I want to do? Yeah, I want to put on highlighter. Speaking of highlighter and Ariana Grande, since this is her brand, have we been listening to Brighter Days Ahead, the expanded version of Eternal Sunshine? Because Lord knows I have. Twilight Zone, the natural successor to We Can't Be Friends, and one of the best songs I've ever heard in my life. Speaking of my good Judy Tom, they said it all sounds the same. Which it doesn't. That's a lie. They're lying. You can tell them I said that. And I've always said that. JK, I love Tom. We all love Tom. We all love Tom. Don't bother Tom. Don't you dare. That's my job. I feel like this makeup turned out better than it usually does in Get Ready With Me's, so hip hip hooray for myself. And hasn't Dodger been such a baby during this video? Yeah, you! Oh my god, I love him. I had to like stop talking about him because I was gonna start crying. I cried when oh my gosh, here's the story. I took him to the groomers for the first time today. It didn't go super well, because they didn't do as great of a job on his nails that I wanted them to do, and he clearly didn't enjoy it, and I don't know. I was not doing well. I get really nervous, anything involving him. Like going to the vet together, we were both nervous. Actually, I was probably more nervous. And I like dropped him off, and I thought there was going to be like, I don't know, I thought they were going to say something to me, but the groomer just took him and was like, okay, thanks, we'll call you when we're done. And just trotted away into the grooming room. Y'all, I got into my car and cried. I'm so stressed. And I think that's also because of other things going on. Like, but, oh God, it was like my security blanket was just taken away, even though I've only had him like 3 weeks. And it felt like I was like sending my kid off to kindergarten or something. It was terrible. But, like, it wasn't like catastrophic. It just, some of my fears were confirmed. You know, I'll try a different place next time. And I think he just gets nervous in those environments because he's a little anxious boy sometimes. But he's, at the end of the day, just a baby. You're just a baby. Just a 61-pound baby. Oh, I need a lip. I'm becoming a lip combo girl. Can you believe it? And I don't know if I have any of the ones oh, wait, I have this. Which one are you? That is beige. Okay. All right, get into it. Why are they so scared of trans girls? It's because we're so pretty. It's because we're so pretty and we hate you. Alright. And that's the video. And that's the video. Don't use that word in the future, Dodger. That's the video. Thank y'all so much for being here. I am, you know, after all I just said, like, I'm looking pretty good. Well, body dysmorphia. I have makeup on my side. I am looking pretty good. I am a pretty girl. I am a pretty girl. Oh no, the sun is messing up. You know, that means it's time for me to go. Love how, because the sun's changing positions, I'm like, oh, sun, you're off schedule. You're messing up. Thank y'all so much for being here. If you did enjoy this video, give it a like. Helps me a lot in the Wild Wild West YouTube algorithm. Subscribe if you want to see future videos. We're gonna be okay. Bye, y'all.